Hi everyone, Mindless here, and in today's video I'm bringing you guys another tips and tricks video, and this is going to be about how to become a better fighter. So if you do like tips and tricks videos like these, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, watch the video all the way through. It really helps me out. And without further ado, let's get started. So first of all, I'm gonna start off with a bang, right? If you want to get better, right, basically realistic 1v1 against someone who's much better than you, much better fighter than you, right? And what you want to do is basically each time you die, you want to play them 10 times, right? And each one you die, write what you did wrong and what you could have done better, right? So for the next week, whenever you play, you want to keep these 10 mistakes or whatever it may be in your head, right? And let's say you did a window peek when you should have done a Dorito peek. So whenever you go into a fight, make sure if this situation happens, I don't do a window peek, I do Dorito peek, or I should crouch when I do the window peek instead of just standing still, right in the middle of it, right? So by doing this, you will learn from your mistakes and you will become a better fighter, right? So anyways, let's get started with the tips, right? So first of all, if you want to become a better fighter, you have to fight a lot, right? So basically, a lot of people say, yo, play arena, play arena. Arena is the best way to improve as a fighter. And honestly disagree with that, because arena, especially solos arena, it can be very discouraging, right? Because you might lose arena points and championships. Fortnite FNCS is like next week and you're probably grinding to champs and you want to play it, right? So basically, a lot of times you don't want to lose points, right? So what can we do that has, the same thing, but, you don't lose points, right? So what you can do is play zone wars or realistics. Honestly, I don't like zone wars as much, just because whenever you die you have to spectate, and that just takes time away from time that you can actually be fighting someone. But anyways, what you can do is also play realistics, right? Realistics, you have limited mats, limited ammo, you have limited guns, right? The storm is there, and basically is realistic. It's more realistic than, let's say, a 1v1 a BSE would be, right? So you want to do that, and you want to grind as many realistics as possible, and you just want to keep on learning from your mistakes. Tip number 2, I guess, right? Yeah. Tip number 2 is that, tip number 2 is you want to fight with a mindset that no matter what's gonna happen, right? Basically, I will win this, right? You will win the game, and you don't care if it's Clicks, if it's Booga, if it's Mongo, or if it's Benji, right? You don't care who it is, you're gonna win. And also with the mentality that not only am I gonna win this fight, I'm gonna win this fight and take as little damage as possible. Thinking this way gives you the confidence that you need to make the plays you want, and also it gives you the advice, or kind of things that you need to make sure that you don't do risky plays that will, possibly lead to your death, right? So this is a very smart, like, if you do this, like, you will get better. You will get better because you're getting confidence, and you're also not getting cocky and making risky edits. Tip number 3 is that whenever you W key and like nothing goes right, like, you might be UWK, nothing goes right, nothing goes your way, right? So here's what you do. Instead of raging and taking this time to rage or whatever, don't do it. That's not gonna help you at all, right? Do something that's gonna help you more, which would be say how you died. Like, say it to yourself out loud, right? Because saying out loud really makes a difference, right? So let's say if I died because I took a stupid, oh, because let's say I died, right? And I died because I pushed this kid. I didn't do any damage, like, I didn't see him healing or anything. So I just pushed him, and because I just wanted a W key, right? And because of that, I went right into this box, and I got 200 dragon charge. Oh wow, I got 200 dragon in the freaking head, right? So that was my mistake. What could I have done better? Maybe if I really wanted to fight him, right, I could have maybe did some sprayed his ball and maybe do some little damage, right, to put him to some panic, and then I could have rushed him, and I don't necessarily have to go into his box, So that is something that you should do, like, every single time you die, right? So whatever the case may be, and let's say you're playing arena, you die, you say what happened, you say how you can improve next time, go on to your next game. I feel like even pros, most pros don't even do this. The select few are like the top 1% of pros that do this, right? So if you do this, you will be putting yourself at an ultimate advantage because you're putting yourself on the top 0.1% of all players, right? Because not everyone does this. And also, instead of using that time that you would normally be raging, you use it for something more productive, right? So finally, tip number 4, right? This is to figure out your opponent's playstyle and play by their and your loadout, right? So first of all, play by your opponent's playstyle. You know, your opponent could be aggressive. He could be he or she could be passive, right? So I have a whole playstyles video that I made last week. Make sure to go watch that, will really help. So basically, if your opponent is aggressive and you know he takes any chance he can get a damage on you, he will take it, then you might want to bait him into a shot, and you might just maybe want to take your distance away from him because he might be able to change the fight around. So that's like knowing your opponent's playstyle. Or if they're passive, right, you might wanna AR spray them and put a lot of pressure on them and maybe even go into their box, right? And this second one, play on your and your opponent's loadout, right? So let's say you go into a fight, your opponent has a dragon shotgun and you have a charge shotgun, right? Even if you get your opponent low, well, okay, it depends how low you get them, but you should definitely now go into their box, right? Because if you go into their box, there's always that chance that they're gonna 200 dragon you to the head and your whole game will be over, right? So you don't want to do that. You want to maybe play at a distance and maybe keep doing damage with the charge, but you don't have to go right into their box, because by doing that you put their weapon and you use that as your advantage, right? You put them at a disadvantage while putting yourself in an advantage, right? And with that, that's the main point of this video, right? To become a better fighter, yes, you have to be mechanical, you have to have the smarts and everything, right? But essentially, to become a better fighter, you have to know how to use things to your advantage and to use that to put your opponent in a disadvantage, right? Because when your opponent is a disadvantage, that's when they make stupid plays, that's when they make mistakes, that's when they miss their shots and they're all nervous, right? So you want to put yourself at advantage and put your opponent in the disadvantage. So remember that whenever you're fighting. And yeah, that's it for the video. If you watched all the way through, it really helps me out, and thank you a lot. It really means a lot to me. Anyways, later.